What is going on, everyone? Leon checking in, and we're at it again with another episode. Now, today's content is an increased focus on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, which brings us to battery performance. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it's insanely good. And as it should be, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, after all, is a really large phone packing a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. Now, of course, don't just take my word for it. I'm importing screenshots right now so that you can go ahead and check them out. And we'll also do a walkthrough of everything going on with the S23 Ultra. Simply put, this device makes it through a whole day easily with an extra reserve of about 30 to 50%. Again, this is just phenomenal. So let's talk what's going on here with the S23 Ultra. But before we do so, the screenshots you see here are with power saving turned off. That being said, the screen recording we're about to display is going to show results with power saving on. So let's import that screen recording right now. And as you can see, our battery information in the settings is going to be displayed. I also have touch enabled, so as I touch the screen recording, you can see where I am for reference. Now, upon first glimpse, everything looks phenomenal. You can see that we have 10 hours and 31 minutes left. And just to give you an idea, if we scroll down here just a little bit, you'll see that we already have 13 hours and 47 minutes of use. Now, scrolling back up slightly, again, we have power saving enabled, which explains why we have such a long runtime. And to further elaborate on this, we're going to jump into the setting here, background usage limits, just for a bit more clarity. So I didn't really mess around with too much of anything here. We're running on mostly default settings. We have some sleeping apps, we have some deep sleeping apps, and we have 0 never sleeping apps. Now, if you're listening, I want to be more precise here. We have 2 sleeping apps and 6 deep sleeping apps. And we are going to back out here in a moment. But before we do so, take a look here. We have put unused apps to sleep, and that is enabled. So ideally that should help us have better battery performance. We're going to back out now. And as we backed out there, I do want to say, if you don't want that feature enabled where you put unused apps to sleep, maybe because you want better performance, just keep in mind that that will probably affect the battery performance. So we're going to scroll back down here. And we have this option here underneath the chart where we can view details. This is where we'll get more precise information of what's going on here. Before we tap on that though, we've got our apps underneath. These are ideally the most used apps, but let's tap on view details here. And again, just elaborating on the information here, 13 hours and 37 minutes used. Screen on time is 7 hours and 49 minutes. And screen off time is 5 hours and 43 minutes. And to give you an idea, I wake up at about 7 in the morning and it is 8:25 at night. We have 46% battery left. This is ridiculously awesome. Now, I'm coming from a Z Fold 4, and the Z Fold 4 is a really cool device. But the battery champ here is the S23 Ultra. The Z Fold 4 could never, ever, ever touch what we have going on here. This is shaming the Z Fold 4. And reasonably so. The Z Fold 4 features a smaller battery at 4,400 milliamp hours. And it has almost 3 times the amount of display. So there's a lot going on there. Although when you have the Z Fold 4 unfolded, it's basically twice the display because the cover display isn't on. But if you use the cover display more, maybe we might get battery performance that is almost comparable to this. I don't know. I'd have to try that out now that I think about it. But if you're looking for a device that's just going to give you faith that you're going to make it through the whole day, S23 Ultra, I haven't had to worry at all. Since we did the unboxing video, I haven't had to worry at all about making it through a day with the battery. There's no concern. There's no charging at like 3 or 4 p.m. like how I would have to do with the Z Fold 4. This is just very efficient. It's very promising. It gives you confidence. So to give you an idea of what's going on with the S23 Ultra during the day, this thing, the display is on, it feels like all the time. So I'm constantly playing podcasts. I'm constantly asking Google for the news. I'm constantly researching things. This thing is nonstop. So that's what the day looks like for the S23 Ultra. Now, after work, more in the evening, we are going to be playing more music. I'm going to be doing more research on it. I haven't really done too much gaming on this yet. We're experimenting with different things, which I'll have an update about soon. We've got a really cool controller setup going with the S23 Ultra. The big display is great for gaming. So the battery results aren't going to include anything hardcore like gaming, but I would probably follow up once I am working on that gaming video and we get that published. But let's take a look at the apps here. So Google is 2 hours and 17 minutes. I think that's more background. Or you know what? It might be when I ask Google for the news, for the business news, for technology news, for any kind of news. We have Black Player EX. I use that quite a bit. Again, that's going to be for workouts. Black Player EX is a very good music player if you have downloaded music and you want to play music from your phone. Very good app. It's customizable. And then we've got other things like Waze, Messages, Robinhood, Instagram. Those are getting under an hour of usage each. Some of them are only half an hour. But overall, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is phenomenal when it comes to battery. Now, I am thinking of going back to the Z Fold 4 just because I like that folding display. But I know I'm going to be sacrificing battery. This is a tough choice for me. I wish that both of these devices were combined together. Maybe for like a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Ultra 5 or 6 possibly, because the display here for the S23 Ultra is amazing, and I feel like that would be great for the cover display of a future Z Fold. That would of course make the Z Fold larger overall when you unfold it too, and I think that would be great. I would be fine with a device that big. I know some people might say that's too much, but that's why you would have the regular Z Fold. I think a Z Fold Ultra would be really cool, have that bigger battery, but then again, how does that affect battery performance? So that is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it and found it useful, please leave a like. If you're watching on YouTube and have any questions or comments, as always, drop those down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Now, there are 3 ways you can support the content. The first way is to click on the Amazon storefront link in the description below. There you'll find items that I have bought or would buy, and anything you buy from the storefront does support the content. We also have some really interesting lists on there so you can create the ultimate loadout, such as the Z Fold 4 idea list. The next way you can show your support is by sharing this content with someone who might enjoy it or find it useful. And the last way you can show your support is by clicking the subscribe button. Now, liking and subscribing are important because those are your ways to vote on whether you like the content. Liking and subscribing are also important for new viewers and listeners. If new viewers and listeners see likes and subscribers, they're going to think that the content is helpful, worth watching, and listening to. And as always, thanks for watching and may the universe flow in your favor. And until next time, Leon checking out.
You